98% of the NHL world is now in mourning with news that Chicago won the draft lottery and the ability to pick Connor Bedard. Today I'm fast-tracking Bedard into the NHL to see how he can compete against the elite, but not just any old elite NHL talent. Actually, yes, old elite. That's exactly what this is. I've put 10 elder statesmen of the NHL back in their prime and slated them to battle young Connor Bedard head to head. Each season, Bedard and his prime superstar opponent will compete in these 5 categories. If Connor outduels his opponent in any of them, he gets to steal a teammate of his choosing from said opponent. For example, if Connor wins 2 spots in a season, he'll grab the 2 best teammates from that star prior to next season. You with me so far? Additionally, I've got 9 criteria that Connor is looking to complete on his own. Each season the board resets and each accomplishment gets Bedard a +10 attribute boost. Also, if he manages to accomplish 5 or more criteria in a season, he gets to choose 1 Blackhawks alumni player to join his team. And the reason you might be wondering why I'm boosting Bedard's team so vigorously is because I'm putting the Regina Pats of the WHL into the NHL. Yep, that's yeah, they're a 56 overall. They gonna lose, friends, a whole lot. Can Connor overcome what will surely be a brutal start to his career and win a Stanley Cup down the road? And yeah, I mean, I warned everybody, just 2 wins for the Regina Pats in Connor's first NHL season. In case y'all were curious, by the way, one of those wins came against the Coyotes because obviously the second came against the Wild, which is kind of crazy. Now, before we get to Connor's performance, I should mention that his year 1 prime star opponent is Claude Giroux. I went ahead and made Claude a 90 overall on the Sens in honor of his 102-point season back when he was 30 years old. And this was actually a really solid start for Connor. Okay, 28 goals, 57 points. I mean, that's decent. Let's just ignore the -75 from him. The Pats got scored on a lot, evidently. He actually didn't shoot that much, which is kind of tough, but he was a decent producer on the power play. We're looking for that. Also, nice giveaway to takeaway ratio, Connor. Regina obviously didn't make the playoffs, but neither did the Senators, who were just on the outside looking in, which is important because, of course, Claude Giroux was Connor's specific opponent this season, and my guy did cook, I can't lie. He outplayed Connor, which isn't all that surprising, basically across the board. The only thing left to decipher, did either of these players win any hardware? That's pretty important. Wow, I guess prime Connor McDavid is running these streets, fair enough. And no hardware from either, not even Connor winning Calder. That's tough. And what it means is, unfortunately, Bedard didn't get to steal any Senators before season 2. He also didn't accomplish enough individually to earn a Blackhawks legend. However, 3 +10 boosts were earned, so the season wasn't a complete waste. And by the way, both those goals and points totals, I'm gonna move up each and every year to make it more difficult. I wasn't messing around. I had 30 total attribute points to apply to Connor. Speed, puck control, and passing are now all basically maxed out. And he gonna need every little bit of that, because year 2 gets even tougher as Connor's prime star opponent is 91 overall John Tavares. Johnny T put up 86 points and was a first-team all-star as a 24-year-old. And as a sad reminder, Connor is now better, but his team ain't, friends. Hey, I mean, that's improvement though, right? I mean 3 wins this season for Regina. And of course, 1 game against the Coyotes. Again, Seattle, that's kind of weird. Edmonton? Nah, that's actually out of pocket. What? Oh no, Connor had a brutal year, man. What? Despite being better as a player overall, Bedard regressed slightly across the board with the exception of takeaway, which is key because as we can see, prime Johnny T had a brilliant season for the Leafs. 93 points, lit it up on the power play, but he only had 47 takeaways, which means Connor's getting something. But just get this, dude, I couldn't have made this up if I tried. The Leafs choked in round 1 to the Senators. Prime Giroux greater than all them Leafs, including prime Tavares. That's crazy. Interesting. The Jets take our 2nd Stanley Cup. Okay. Bedard still eligible for the Calder as far as I know. Still didn't win it though, but Johnny T got nothing either. Horrible year for Connor once again, but he did take away Tavares, meaning he'll be able to steal his first player from a star. Unfortunately, again, horrible season. Just a single +10 attribute boost coming for our guy. I split that up and put 5 on both wrist shot power and accuracy. But more importantly, welcome to the Regina Pats, Mitch Marner. Yes, I added Marner instead of Matthews. Connor needs a playmaker. Just sue me, okay? Connor desperately needs help, honestly, especially with prime Anze Kopitar, his star matchup in year 3. Kopitar, one of the greatest two-way forces ever, scored 92 points and won Selke when he was 30 years old. And look at that, marked improvement for the Pats, probably thanks to Marner. 8 wins, baby. Oh, very interesting though. It was Connor leading the way in scoring, which is good. I'm just curious why it wasn't wasn't Mitch. To be fair, he was just behind Bedard. Connor's goal scoring, shot taking, and once again, defensive play could lead to this being a profitable season. Kopitar, on the other hand, also had a nice season. He did outscore Bedard with 75 points. Looks like Connor outperformed Kopi in terms of power play production, but yeah, of course, Anjay would be greater in takeaways. Yeah. Interestingly, prime Kopitar still wasn't enough to put the Kings over the top into a playoff position. It was once again the year of old Connor McDavid and the Oilers. Okay, now I'm starting to believe Bedard just isn't eligible for the Calder. I mean, what is going on? No accolades again for either player, but again, Bedard will get to poach one new teammate. Nice. Also, he still fails to hit the threshold to add a legend, but another 3 criteria clinched. That's another 30 total attributes, and I am making a galaxy brain move right here. Plus 10 boost to faceoffs, which will hopefully mean an auto upgrade each season from here on out. I put plus 10 on Connor's wrist shot to max that bad boy out, and finally plus 10 to offensive and defensive awareness just to boost that overall. Connor up to a 91 overall ahead of season 4. That's a W. And I stole old man Drew Doughty from the Kings to start building out a back end for Regina. The studs keep trying to line up and make Bedard weep though. This time around, prime Steven Stamkos. Stammer, an all-time sniper, as we know, scored 60 goals to win Rocket Richard back when he was just 21 years old. Crazy. Oh, tough scene for the Pats. Didn't improve even with Doughty. Only 7 wins? Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about, Connor. This is where he starts to win. Our guy eclipsed 50 goals ahead of schedule. Nice. 86 points is a dub. He shot the puck a ton, scored on the power play, and yes, my evil plan worked. Connor won 57% of his faceoffs. That's easy work. Okay, wasn't hoping to see that, but yeah, it's prime Stamkos, man. Stammer outproduced Connor overall on the power play. His Lightning made the playoffs, but it's okay. Not all gloom and doom. Steve's Lightning were taken down in the playoffs. Again, prime Giroux wrecking havoc, although the Stars were eventual champs. Stammer did win our first award of the video, Art Ross, while dude, what? I mean, it labels Bedard as a rookie. Like, right there, what am I missing with this Calder? See, I'm rattled because Connor winning an award would have given him license to grab a Blackhawks legend, but alas, Connor's two-way profile bailed him out again, though, beating Stammer in takeaways, meaning he's about to, take away one of his teammates, right? I don't know. First, though, a big bump coming for Connor Bedard with 4 plus 10 boosts, 40 attribute points in total. His entire shot is now max. Deacon got a bump, some skating as well. Connor now a 92 overall, very nice, and this was no tough decision. Vasilevsky stolen from the Lightning. Let's go, Regina. From Stamkos in year 4 to another two-way dominant beast, Jonathan Toews in season 5. This will be tough once again. Since we don't have Chicago in this video, I spun a wheel to see where we'd send prime Toews, the Buffalo Sabres. Toews was a point a game while winning Selke and leading Chicago to a cup in 2013 as a 24-year-old. Wow, an attendee made a world of difference for Connor's Pats. They won 23 games, finally. I mean, they still weren't close to the playoffs, but it's a process. Oh no, Connor didn't lead them in scoring? That's not a good sign. Thankfully, he still produced 48 goals, 82 points. Holy, he was a power play merchant. That's nuts. He was an ace in the faceoff dot again. His giveaways were down. Takeaways too, though. Johnny Toews had a big year in Buffalo, led them to the playoffs, of course. Connor did outproduce him, though, which is huge. Toews is a takeaway merchant, though. Holy moly. Prime Toews was outdueled, though, by Prime Tavares in the playoffs. Who cares, to be honest? The Rangers, eventual champions, which is actually pretty interesting. You'll see why a bit later. Wow, and there we go. Okay, Connor Bedard finally wins a Calder trophy, and in an actual shock, Toews didn't win Selke. He was blanked. Okay, and I know because a lot of you are probably yelling at me, I should say, I'm making this video within season mode, so apparently Connor Bedard is Calder eligible every single season. I needed to see him win the award once. I thought that was fair, and he just did. So from here on out, I will not count Calder anymore for our attribute boost, nothing like that. So just a one-time award. Once again, are we good? Okay, this season was insane. First up, Connor beat Toews in 3 categories head-to-head, meaning the Sabres are about to get decimated. Second, Bedard completed 6 criteria individually, which means 6 plus 10 attribute boosts. As well, we get to finally enact him adding a Blackhawks legend. Before we get there, 60 attribute points added to Bedard, continuing to round out his game. He's now up to a 94 overall. Nice. But here's the good stuff. I was eligible to steal 3 players for Connor from Buffalo: Tage Thompson, Jeff Skinner, and Rasmus Dahlin on the back end. Additionally, Chris Chelios gets added to the squad from the Blackhawks alumni team. Let's go. No excuses for Connor at this point, even with prime Jumbo Joe Thornton waiting for him in season 6. Joe had an unreal season at 26 years old, 125 points. Hart, Ross, first all all-star team. Clearly, though, the Pats are still too top-heavy, not close to the playoffs. Once again, just 28 wins. Uh-oh, that doesn't really bode well for Connor this season. 72 points for Bedard in a down year. It's possible all that offense from the back end contributed to his less than season. Hurdle? I mean, nah. Where's Joe? 64 points for 95 overall prime Joe Thornton? Okay, well, that didn't go very well for Joe. The Predators were Cup champs? What in the world? It was ugly, but Connor will be taking a pair of Sharks off Thornton. He does just miss adding another legend, but 4+10 attribute boost will help regardless. Highlighted mainly by new 99 strength and 95 defensive awareness, Connor Bedard is now a 97 overall. Tomas Hertl and Erik Karlsson get added to the Pats. Still a lack of depth on the roster, but this should be a playoff season, right? Season 7, it's time we finally find ourselves in Pittsburgh for a prime star opponent, Yevgeny Malkin, my friends. Gino put up 109 points, Hart, Ross, Pearson, the whole 9 yards as a 25-year-old. Wow. Boom! There it is, Connor. 57 goals, just shy of the century mark for points. Okay. Unfortunately, nah, the Pats finished just shy of the playoff board, Even still, 38 wins? Somehow, though, what is it? The prime Gino-led Penguins only won 42 games and also missed the playoffs? You'll know why I'm extra flabbergasted by that in just a few minutes. Connor actually had a slight dip in power play production, which hurts, but his faceoffs and giveaways were a plus. And look at those takeaways now. Holy moly. Gino, meanwhile, dropped 83 points, a pretty average season from another one of our prime stars, to be honest. Another new Cup champ, the Calgary Flames, yeah, right? And look, Connor Bedard finally wins a non-Calder award, the Rocket Richard. Let's go. Massive individual season for Connor, 5 criteria, which earns him another Blackhawks legend and 5 more +10 boosts. He also cleaned up and will clean out the Penguins with head-to-head dominance of Malkin in season 7. Connor's up to a 98 overall after another batch of upgrades, and there's no point in making this dramatic. After 4 additions from the Pens, Connor's Pats have a stacked top 9. They've got a near perfect defensive core, and of course a stud in net. Like, this is a President's Trophy roster, right? At least. I mean, hopefully we're running out of seasons here, Con. And lest I forget, our next opponent up, I mentioned the Rangers earlier, it's MF and Patrick Kane, baby. Kaner scored 106 points, won Hart, Ross, Pearson. Yeah, he won it all with the Hawks as a 27-year-old, but that last upgrade, courtesy the Penguins, oh my. 58 total wins for the Regina Pats in season 8. It finally happened, my friends. Not surprising that we didn't have Bedard going crazy individually. It was actually an extreme off year, 43 goals, 79 points, just really too balanced for anything crazy from Con. Uh-oh, that's Patty Kane, boys. That's prime Patty Kane at work. Not a surprise, but at long last, Connor Bedard and the Pats are in the NHL playoffs. Also not a surprise, prime Kane and the Rangers are as well. Round 1 against the Wild should be an easy dub in my opinion, and I ain't never lied. I mean, that's easy work to close out in game 5. The East is wild. Prime Tavares versus Stamkos, prime Kane versus a superstar. We'll see with the Capitals. Maybe we'll see Connor against one of those studs soon as another dominant closeout game 5 performance by the Pats. But before that, a matchup with the other Connor in Edmonton, which was off to a less than desirable start. However, that start was quickly turned around. Another game 5 with a 3-1 series lead. Stan Mikita and Tomas Hertl gave the Pats a lead, and Brian Rust had the insurance tally. And would you look at that? Once again, I couldn't have scripted this any better. Connor Bedard finally stepping up to the plate in this video, making the playoffs and marching to the Stanley Cup final, where he'd of course meet a legend in his prime on a loaded Rangers roster, one Patrick Kane. Kako and Panarin extended the series for New York in game 5, while Adam Fox and Mika Zibanejad came up clutch in game 6. 97 overall Patrick Kane versus 98 overall Connor Bedard. Do or die for the cup. Of course, we got a tie game heading into the 3rd period. Oh, Rasmus Dahlin. Okay, that was clutch. Can the Pats hold on? Can they hold? Oh my gosh, it's so close. Chris Kreider. No. How did the Pats not close this out? Game 7 OT, sure, why not? Let's get it going. The Pats were the side with the best chance in OT1. Old man Stan Mikita out there. Is this the second line? Oh. That was Jeff Skinner. Wow, he got robbed. And wait a second. Looks like they had another chance in OT1. Feels like I haven't seen Bedard in like a minute. Wait. Hurdle! Oh, there it is. There it is. The Pats, they've done it. Okay. Connor Bedard finally reached the peak in season 8. Conn Smythe and lifting Lord Stanley Cup. Amazing. Still wasn't a perfect season by any means, but honestly, who cares? 4+10 boosts. Yeah, why not? Prime Patty did give Connor a run for his money, but 3 more players will be stolen by Bedard for his efforts. And with that, I do feel like Connor Bedard has completed his mission for this video. So in season 9, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball to finish things off. First thing, Connor Bedard is now a full 99 99 overall. I mean, he's maxed out almost all over the place. The Pats add Artemi Panarin, Mika Zibanejad, and Adam Fox from the Rangers. Wow. But the final 2 stars I had slated to face Connor, well, you may have heard of them. Yes, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. As a 22-year-old, Ovi won Hart, Ross, Richard, Pearson. What a season, man. Well, Sid went Hart, Ross, Pearson as well at 26 years old. Both of them all-time studs, as we know. But the curveball, look what I've done with the Capitals roster. All 10 of our in-their-prime superstars, all-time NHL legends, are together on one team. Will it work out? I don't know, but it should, so let's see what happens. Oh, Connor Bedard, 99 overall, just slapping him around in his final season. Okay, then. Well, interestingly, with all that talent on the Caps, it's Geno Malkin leading the way. Even with a ton of depth on Regina, Bedard still went over 110 points, which is nice to say the least. While 6 of the prime stars on Washington eclipsed 80 points, 5 over 90, that's legit. And despite both powerhouses needing a Game 7 in the conference final, Connor's Pats and the Washington Avengers both reached the Stanley Cup final. And would you look at that? Connor's reign might be one and done. The vets are up. Regina would win a high-scoring Game 6, though, to push the series to the brink. And the old men would not have the last laugh, as indeed Connor Bedard and the Regina Pats took a second straight Stanley Cup in convincing fashion in Game 7. It took a minute, but Connor Bedard's foray into a fantastical NHL was ultimately a success. If you're interested in a different Connor's foray into the AHL, click this video right here. I guarantee you won't be disappointed.